Men of Reddit. What do women do that they think is okay, but is actually creepy? Before we start with the first story, please hit the subscribe and ring the notification bell to stay updated with us. Number 15. Not exclusively a woman thing, but my ex would screenshot our text conversations and send them to her family and friends for reaction. Like mundane conversations, not even anything interesting. It felt like a very creepy violation of my privacy. Also, she was an idiot. Hope you see this, Laura. Lol, this sounds like one of my exes who was also named Laura. Number 14. Maybe not creepy, but stop pulling on my beard and arm hair. Like, that kid is seriously uncomfortable. And pulling out a beard hair stings like It's literally attached to my face. You are in my personal space, tugging my hair and causing me a little pain. Ladies, I don't care how fun it is, please stop or I'll make fun of your eyebrows. Number 13. Went out with a group of guys last weekend. There were 6 of us and this random girl started hanging around us like a lost puppy and just wouldn't leave. She was attractive, but so obviously desperate for attention that none of our group of guys really cared to give her any. This girl was just looking at everyone, batting her eyes and trying to hug everyone, but the guys were just pawning her off on each other. Not sure if this is pathetic more than creepy, but if a guy did the same thing, he'd be labeled with creepy, so yeah. She was creepy to me. I honestly thought she was a hooker or something trying to sell services or some The way she was approaching dudes. It's not normal. Probably trying to get free drinks. Number 12. Ghosting. If this didn't become mainstream in the dating scene recently, there would be a lot more missing person reports filed by men who thought their dates literally disappeared without a trace. This is the stuff of 80s horror movies. FYI, ghosting is not an acceptable way to deal with most men. I get that there are abusers who need to be ignored for peace of mind, but there are few of those men compared to the number of times my friends or I have been ghosted. Ghosting gives men anxiety and depression, leaves whatever problem you had with him to do it to his next date, and makes men resent you. If you don't like a guy, tell him that and tell him why. You're doing society a favor. I agree. Ghosting is horrible. It leaves you with such anxiety, wondering what you did/said wrong, how to know what not to do in the future with other women, etc. I'm dealing with it now, and it sucks. Number 11. I dated a girl who was overly sensitive to word choice. Case in point. One Saturday morning I was out running errands. It was a beautiful day, and I texted, "It's going to be a great day." She called me crying because when you say, "It's going to be a great day," it puts too much pressure on me to have a great day. Now I'm crying. All I could think was, what the hell? We ended up breaking up because it was a Thursday, which had become our date night, and I was going to go to her place. She started crying and broke up with me because I assumed we were going to see each other that night. Number 10. Trying to isolate us from friends, especially other women, and family because they want us to focus on the relationship and prioritize her emotional needs over everybody else in our lives. It's under the guise of wanting to develop a bond and get to know us better, but if you're paying attention, you can tell what's really going on. And also, having gone through copious amounts of domestic violence training at work, both as a requirement for employment and as part of the job since our record training, it is painfully obvious that this is something men do all the time to control women. Most of this thread consists of things that aren't limited by gender. Number 9. Okay, so this is something both me and my brother had happened to us. We are both pretty young, around 20, but we were at some parties where people of all ages were around recently. At one party, we had just finished performing with our orchestra, and we were still in our uniforms. Then, when I was getting some beers, some random lady of over 40 said to me, "Would you like to change clothes? I want to look like I am in the orchestra." So naturally, I'm like, well, I'd rather not, but she was like, "Oh, please," and she kept on trying to talk to me. At another party, some lady also of over 40, who was really seeking attention, started to hold my brother by the waist. My brother told me he was really weirded out by her. She tried to do this multiple times, even after I lured my brother away by pretending I needed to say something to him. I don't really know if this is something a lot of middle-aged ladies do, but their acting like that really weirded me out, and they seemed to do this as if it was the most normal thing in the world. Reply. When I was 18 to 22 worked in restaurants, some were pretty high-end. The amount of middle-aged women that would grab my face and say, "You have a lovely smile," or put their arm around my waist as I was clearing plates was honestly too high to count. Add to that they were half drunk after their wine, etc. Seriously, imagine a 40-year-old half-drunk bloke grabbing a 20-year-old girl by the face and saying how lovely her smile was. Literal riots in the street. Number 8. Being addicted to social media, mostly Instagram. Like, the worst one is my phone is never on quiet, and anytime any notifications appear she looks at it no matter what you were talking about. And then, even if one has better manners, like having the phone on silent and can be without it for the first hour of the dinner. Then dessert comes and I have to go pee. I come back, she's scrolling, commenting, posting, everything, and acts like I'm interested in what someone comment and spends the rest of the night with her phone in her hands. I read through most of the comments and I cannot believe I haven't found this. This has become so common in Central and Western Europe. Edit. Sorry, I meant phone on silent, not quiet. Edit 2. A lot of people asking why I think it's creepy. Because I find it very, very creepy that I have to compete with 2,000 followers entangled in the lowest possible form of any human relationship for attention when I am on a date. I find it sad and creepy. Number 7. Being hypocritical about sexism. Hear about guy dating girl. What a Hear about girl dating guy. Well, what did he do? Older man hitting on much younger woman. What a creep. Older woman hitting on much younger man. You get girl. Making small p jokes. Funny. Making fat jokes about men. Funny. Making short jokes about men. Funny. Making any jokes about a woman's appearance. Super not okay. Number 6. Honestly, hands down, women who exploit the emotions of men. We may not all cry in the movie theater, but we are not incapable of experiencing deep, painful emotional wounds. In general, it seems to be more acceptable for women to rag on guys for our image, like our height, weight, or income. While the flip side is that men cannot criticize women without being a pig. So yeah, women who nitpick guys for superficial reasons are creepy, arrogant, and covered with more red flags than a game of Minesweeper. Number 5. Not creepy, but when a woman sees a single dad with his kid and feels it's ought to tell them they're doing great. I get they may feel like they're being supported or whatever, but the stigma behind guys not knowing how to raise a child is infuriating. I have 50-50 custody of my child and she's raised brilliantly by both me and her mom. I can guarantee mom never gets random praises just for walking through a shop with our child though. It's not supportive, it's condescending as hell, and please stop. Edit. I've seen a few comments about accepting compliments. My daughter is an absolute delight and always gets genuine compliments from passers-by. These I take with pride and a smile. The problem is from the people who approach in shock to see a dad alone with his kid and think he's either babysitting or just lost without a woman to tell him how to raise his kid and needs a patronizing pat on the back. Edit 2. Just to clarify, I always respond with a smile and thank you regardless of the way I'm approached. I'm not raging mad about this lol. Number 4. The way girls share really personal things about guys in relation to sex. Society and the media would have you believe that guys talk about sex all the time and just objectify the women that they've slept with. I don't know if maybe I'm just hanging out with the wrong people, but honestly, the most you usually get out of a guy is just that they had sex with a girl. And the only time we discuss details is when you're just like trading stories. But girls tend to like immediately reporting things to their friends and sharing details that honestly could be embarrassing or uncomfortable for the guy. It makes me really uncomfortable and creeped out to think that if I sleep with a girl, I have to just accept that all of her friends are going to know every detail about the experience. Size, performance, how long it lasted, how I look. It just feels like a huge breach of privacy. Number 3. This isn't necessarily women and probably just girls my age, but they seem to be so much more focused on looks when thinking about a partner. I'll literally be hanging out with female classmates, and they'll just start drawing over some guy who's passing by, and I'm like, you girls actually try to hit me because I mentioned to my friend that I like ass on girls. Meanwhile, they're saying like, why can't you guys be as hot as him? I dunno. He's 20 years old and goes to the gym a few times a week. I'm 14 and happy if I find the time to do sports. I realize I somewhat started to rant there, but if teenage girls are going to moan about the fact that guys their age aren't hot enough, they should understand that they aren't the cream of the crop either. Number 2. I have a friend who whenever she starts dating a guy, just lists me off things about the dude like she's listing a resume. Never anything about the personality or sense of humor or what characteristics about them she enjoys. It's a job, career, college, earnings, and house. I had to tell her it was getting creepy because it just sounded like she was getting a checklist to impress people, not find a good person for her. Number 1. This might be a cultural thing for Latinos, but there were some weird sexual comments said by female family members to my son when he was a toddler. They would call him my boyfriend and ask for kisses in a very aggressive way. When I changed his diapers, they'd stand around and say, "Did Queen S's pippy?" which roughly translates to "Whose is that?" which led me to always change his diaper in a private room, even when told that you can do it here. It's okay. We're all family. One of my aunts even commented on how his has grown since he was a baby. Yeah, his whole body has grown. There's no need to talk about his pee specifically. Step away from my child. I guess this is all done in a cute or innocent way, but I never liked it. And that's all the 15 best stories. If you like more of this, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. You can also share your similar experience in the comment below. See you in the next video.